get it, boys. Let's be efficient.
Is there a rule against calling out supposed players in the post-game show?
No. Why would that be?
Let's go. You want it? You got it.
It is 2:23 in the morning, and we are still presented by Illegal Pete's. Everyone's go-to spot.
Yeah,
for
that's
buddies,
2:23 where we
beers.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this shit is global, man. Like, we go coast to coast. So it's 3:24 somewhere.
It's
4:24 somewhere.
The sun's up where some people are watching.
Yeah.
We're
hey,
worldwide.
college game day was yesterday.
I woke up at 5 a.m. to go to college game day.
And you're about 2 hours and 26 minutes away.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it to 24 hours.
You know, 24 hours, man.
I wasn't offset doing the 24-hour stream. That's basically what I'm doing.
That is what you were doing. That is what you're doing.
Me and Offset have a few things in common.
Yep. You know.
Buffs fans.
Yeah.
24-hour marathons.
And that probably ends it right there.
It's
but
possible,
that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Hey, we won.
What a game. Colorado
What a
beats
game.
Colorado State 43-35 in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. It was, the highs were high and the lows were lows, man. It was, the resiliency that this team showed was pretty spectacular.
Absolutely. I think, I know you normally toss a question out to us, but I got two big takeaways from today, and they're really things that I knew. You know, it's kind of like, hey, man, if you're out there leaving Egypt with Moses, I know that's the guy, but damn, it looked good parting that water. You know, sometimes you just like to see stuff you believe in. I knew this team was resilient, and I knew Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback in America. And those two things got doubled down today. Because, man, he's a leader.
Yeah. And everyone in that stadium, I guess I can't speak for everyone, but anyone who knew Shedeur Sanders when they saw the punt unit come out for Colorado State, thought, oh, you're making a mistake here.
Yeah.
And when it went down to the 2-yard line, you thought, 2-yard line. That seems poetic. Get the ball in his hands. I told you before the show, as soon as I knew that time wasn't the enemy, meaning you had enough time to go put a drive together.
And one timeout.
It was a wrap. We knew that thing was going to overtime.
I knew it was going to overtime. Like, okay, that's it. Now, I would have preferred that ball go out of bounds and we not be on the 2.
Yeah.
But because I'm looking at the distance, the time on the clock, and I said, okay, you got one timeout. He's going to hit the right routes. They're going to go out of bounds. We're going to get to there is no doubt in my mind we're getting to the other side of 50.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. And then I know when that happens, we're scoring, is overtime.
Yep. Before we fully dive in, I want to take this opportunity to share with some of the newer Buffs fans out there. These ones happen. And I mean specifically in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Mm-hmm. This is, a lot of CSU fans have been saying, like, I told you it was a rivalry. I've always said it's a rivalry. Mm-hmm. And it behaves like a rivalry. These games happen in rivalries. Yep. And, credit to CSU. They got up for this game. They came out. They brought it. They had a really good game plan. We'll get into some of the, the bullshit that they pulled later. But from a football perspective, they came out and brought it tonight. And these ones happen in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. So, like, don't be so shocked because, yes, of course, Colorado's 24-point favorites. They should blow them out. Doesn't always work that way. And let me just say this. If any other person was the quarterback of this football team, it would have been a loss. And I'd be saying that right now, too. I'd say, yeah, sometimes this happens against CSU. You lose ones you're not supposed to. But he is the quarterback of Colorado. Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback of Colorado. And boy, did we need him.
He was ice cold. There was a moment like midway through the fourth quarter when he just started taking off. He just took over the game, put the team on his shoulders, and he was determined and willed this team to a win, basically. It was extremely impressive.
I have seen him do it for 3 football seasons now, and just like the 2 before, I am amazed, impressed, and it's like that's good shit. And it's not a but it's I want to do what Shedeur would do. Let's not forget about the people catching the ball and running with the ball after they catch it. Like, that was some clutch quarterback play and clutch receiver play. Like, it all was working.
How about Michael Harrison?
Exactly. Like, I mean, this dude didn't start, because all the people in the chat, they're always about who starts and don't start. Another example of a guy who didn't start but comes in and makes the most of his reps. What did he get? Touchdown?
2 touchdowns.
Touchdown.
7 receptions for 76 yards
and the conversion.
And 2 touchdowns.
I think he had
two-point conversion.
both, right?
No, Zay caught one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, come on, man. And everybody was talking about this. Hey, this offense ignores the tight end. You remember all that crap in the fall camp?
Yep.
Like, dude, like this team is built. One of the things Coach Prime does, and it ain't every practice, but it happens often. So he has this thing called prime situations where he throws out, scenarios. But then he also has these things where, what I termed it, and I got the term from Shiloh, is like this manufactured adversity. He'll just stop practice and let's run 8 gassers. And then let's go back and do the scripted practice. And he does it because adversity comes in football games. Mm-hmm. And he has built this team, man, to withstand adversity. Here's a game you're supposed to win big. You got a crap-talking head coach on the other side that nobody wanted to put up with what that post game would have been like had they won. And there were all these opportunities throughout the game where we had these crazy penalties. We had these crazy situations where the refs are allowing them to fake injury after injury and not really be injured, which, messes up our tempo and getting them tired. Mm-hmm. All these things happen. The targeting, and football's a violent sport, but it has confines and rules. They were going outside of that. All these things were stacking up against us, right? And yet and still.
Everything.
And yet and still find a way.
Yeah.
Find a way. And they found a way and won.
All right, biggest takeaway. We'll dig into the game after the break here, but biggest takeaway from tonight. You go first.
2 is him.
Yeah.
He is, when I go back and rewatch the game, I want to see what kept them from letting him loose earlier.
I know, yeah.
But like when you just need him to go win you a football game, or forget that, when you just need him to get you a drive, he just has an extra little bit that he can go find. Mm-hmm. And it was so awesome. I mean, we're talking about forget about the opponent for a second here because – everyone just wants to talk about the letdown and all this stuff. We're talking about the drive.
Yep. 98 yards.
98 yards with everything on the line. I don't even I can't even think about what I would be saying or feeling or thinking right now if that drive doesn't happen.
Right.
But I'm so glad I don't have to. 98 yards with the game on the line, and he did it in short order.
Yeah.
Did it so fast they got another possession.
Yeah. And that was the fascinating thing about it, man. It was more than the game was on the line. Did you really want to hear their coach? Did you really want to hear their fans?
Hell no.
Bro,
Did you really want to go to Oregon, 2-1 instead of 3-0? It's like it was way more on the line than the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honest with everyone here. I might have just evaporated. I'll give CSU their credit. I was sweating, bro. I don't know what I would have said. Mm-hmm. I might have just ceased to exist.
Like Thanos in the snap, you just powder away.
He's gone.
He's gone.
That would be easier than having to talk. Read those mentions. God damn.
So your takeaway.
I was about to tell you, Jake. I know I gave one when we started the show, but I'm going to give. I'm not going to give a rosy takeaway for this part of the discussion. I'm going to give another take. We cannot run the ball.
I know.
We dude, We got to get a damn running game, man.
Yeah.
We have too talented of an individual capacity backfield. Like, I don't care if you're looking at Dylan, Hank, Savion, Smoke, McCaskill when he comes. I don't care who you're looking at. We have too much talent at running back for us not to be able to successfully, consistently run the ball. And you guys may recall when we did the pregame show, that was the one thing that I was hoping for, banking on, and even said would happen, that this is the game where our guys get confidence that we can run because we should be able to run on this team. Where here we got a team in here you're supposed to be able to run on, we still couldn't run on them. Like, we got to get a run game, man.
Yeah.
Like, we have to.
Yeah, for sure.
My takeaway other than Shedeur is Shiloh is a baller.
Yeah.
What he means to this team in terms of their mentality, and then, a lot of people were kind of on him the first 2 weeks of the season, like wondering if he could do more. Oh, missed tackle here, blah, blah, blah. That guy plays with such fire and really does not care what the score is. He's going to play 110% every single
and
snap.
people who criticize him are idiots.
Yes.
Rewind that back, screen record it, use it against me later. I don't care. You're an idiot in football acumen and knowledge if you criticize a guy like Shiloh Sanders. Any guy, it's like in basketball. Let me flip analogies. You know who gets dunked on? People who play defense.
Yeah.
You know who don't get dunked on? People who get out the way. You know who miss tackles? People who are trying to tackle.
Yeah, putting their face in there.
Yeah, like the guy is aggressive, and in aggression, you're going to miss or come up short. One of the things I love about his interception, just this week, the DC Charles Kelly was on Shiloh, and we had a little clip on the pregame show, and Shiloh turns to him and says, "Coach, I hear you. I just need you to yell at me one more time. Like, if you just yell at me one more time, I'll remember it." And the very situation happened tonight. He broke on the ball and got a pick.
Yep. Well, I can't believe he did that. He gets a pick kind of taken away from him on the play before.
Yeah, he caught that ball.
Ball don't lie.
Well, exactly. And what happened was the quarterback's knee was just down.
Yeah.
But then he baited him into the next one. He was like, I'm going to get my pick one way or another, pick six. And he wanted to high step it so badly.
Yes.
Yeah,
14 was just close enough on his tail.
I talked to him in the locker room about that. And, let me send y'all the clip. We'll just play it. I talked to him in the locker room about that. It's like, man, you looked back like you didn't trust your speed.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I was trying to see where he was so I could high step.
He wanted
I didn't have the distance on him.
I know. Someone needed to come throw him a block so he could high step it. Real quick, someone said I disappeared on Twitter for 4 hours, or I evaporated on Twitter for 4 hours. I couldn't get tweets off in the stadium. I'm not going to tweet that because no one will believe it. But, like, you don't think I would have tweeted about the Shedeur?
I will back you up on that.
Yeah.
The signal sucks.
On the field, it is dead.
Yeah,
I
like
couldn't
it
get
ain't happening.
I got a
man.
couple tweets off early in the game, and then like you don't think like to the people who are saying I didn't tweet for you don't think I would have tweeted about the comeback?
Right. Oh, yeah.
I couldn't get anything off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man.
So I was trying all the way through like the third quarter, and then I just gave up. I didn't even look at my phone. Allie deserves an assist for the win. We were sitting in one area, and she was like, every time good things happen is when I'm in the other area, so I'm going. And I was like, all right, like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I'm going solo. Mm-hmm. So she moved seats. I mean, immediately the comeback started. Right after she moved seats. So
Thank you.
Shedeur, obviously number one in the rankings here, but you gotta get Allie in there somewhere.
Let's go. Thank you, Allie.
I was leaving one takeaway for you. I know we're already going long. What else is new? Because I thought you were going to say this one. But if no one else is going to say it, I will.
Say it.
Dirty-ass football team.
Dirty-ass fucking football team with a liar head coach.
Yeah. You said it. They were out there. A rivalry is one thing. And, I'm all for, guys getting heated and jawing and trash talking, but when you go out there and you're trying to hurt guys, that shit ain't right. And guess what? They succeeded.
And then your coach is out there starting false narratives and then trying to fake backtrack on Twitter and shit when he's the one that started everything.
Hey, man.
Coach has been nothing but respectful.
Let's talk about something else. Let me give that some bitch like.
Yeah, he had his moment.
Yeah, if I give him more airtime, man, we're off that. Like, it's new thing.
But, man, I mean, obviously the hit on Travis is so
disgusting,
so dirty, so dirty. The play is so long over. The fact that there wasn't a flag for it is
The officiating,
awful.
man, across
Terrible
the board was terrible. I think that there was clearly, some fake injuries on the opponent's side, and there's clearly some times where the person faked the injury and got right back up. It's like, oh man, he has to stay down. Doesn't like if he hurt, he's hurt. If he ain't, like he got to leave the game. Like there's rules.
Why aren't they taking their timeouts away when that shit happens?
It wasn't being enforced. And like the pass, and even one thing we did say on pregame show, we knew 14 was their guy.
Right.
All right. And he showed he's their guy. But that pass out of bounds that they reviewed, when he caught the ball, he didn't even get up like he caught the ball.
Yeah.
Like he got up like, shit, I missed that.
And then we couldn't get a review on the Zay one?
But they reviewed that one and said he called it. And he was clearly laying out of bounds. His whole hip was on the white.
You probably had a great view of it.
Man, he was like on my feet.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even think anything. Matter like I said, when he got up, he was jogging back to the huddle because he knew I didn't catch that.
One last thing. Henry Blackburn should be not allowed to play as long as Travis is out. 1. 2.
I don't know who that is, but I'm just
Number 11.
I'm just using contextual clues to know who you're talking about, but I wouldn't know his name otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's a bum-ass play, man.
Totally.
How do they not, it's a personal foul, I know, but how do you not eject someone for that?
Yeah.
Blatant after the play.
They didn't even call, or they did call a
They
personal
called
foul.
a personal foul, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was intent to injure for sure, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying this to justify. I'm saying this because it's a bum team and doing bum things to win. And, one of the things, again, that we talked about, you guys, hopefully you're watching the pre-shows, this is the post-show, we knew this is going to be a personal foul game. And that's on both sides because the energy was ramping up that way. And so who's going to have the most discipline? Like you knew those guys were going to attempt to get us out of the game, whether it's to get us to retaliate, get us, to injured, whatever the case may be. Because if you've watched film, we've played 2 games before tonight. TCU, Nebraska. What happens in those games if you have no Travis or Shedeur?
You don't win.
They know that. They know that.
Yep.
And that's why they played the way they played.
Then you've got the, targeting on Shedeur late in the game. It's just, I mean, how many personal fouls did they have?
They had so many. I think they had finished the game with 17 penalties for 187 yards.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They were
disgusting.
But here's my thing about the
Finally, it
undisciplined
cost them
part.
late.
I don't think it was undisciplined. I think it was intentional. I think it was their game plan.
I mean, that very well could be.
Yeah, I think ours were out of character. I think theirs were no, I'm trying to do this.
Well, and finally, it comes back to bite them on the illegal blindside block.
Yep.
In double overtime.
And that backed them up.
But anyways, I think we can move on from the dirty plays. I just have to say, where's Aqib when you need him?
Oh,
Dirty play from a sorry player.
I thought about that immediately.
Dirty play by a sorry player.
Yep. Shout out to Fubo. Fubo TV is the place to watch football this season, NFL or college. They got the Pac-12 network. I'm sure we'll be on there at some point this season. But as of now, we live in Fox and ESPN land. And Fubo's got those as well. You got 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included, as well as 10% off, I believe, of Fubo Pro with the code. Do you know the code?
No, I haven't done this one yet.
With the code DNVR to get 15% off Fubo Pro.
Could have guessed that one.
Go to www.
That's why I looked at you laughing and said, I think it's DNVR.
.fubo.
I'm pretty sure it's
TV.com/DNVR.
I think everybody is DNVR.
And then shout out to Game Time. Our friends at Game Time. Shiloh said after the game, he comes into the press conference and sits down and he goes, those tickets were expensive, but the price was worth it today, wasn't it?
I love it.
But Game Time's got you covered for all games, concerts, events happening in your city. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use the code DNVR. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
By the way, our people are rewarding us for being live right now. 1.3 thousand.
Unbelievable.
Just on DNVR. I don't know how many
I like how you read numbers.
You do?
Yeah, like 1.3 thousand. I love it.
I like it. Anyways, it's 5 4:40 in some places, 4:40 on the East Coast.
That man be like, shit, we're up. Might as well do it.
We're all up. We're all up. We're all up. And my guy Herb from Chicago just said he's still hyped at 3 a.m.
Shout out to Herb.
Yes.
Word to her.
Yes, sir. I mean, you guys are insane. So are we. We're all insane.
No,
We're sickos.
anybody that is up right now, watching this show or on this show, right? You're insane.
I know. Mm-hmm. I wasn't planning on losing my voice for this one.
No,
either.
you're insane, man. Like, this is – I'm glad you're watching, but why are we here?
We're all sickos. We're sickos.
It's 2:43 in the morning.
Yep. We should move on.
All right.
No, we should just extend it. Let's break a record.
No, let's go through this game. Let's go through this game. It took starting from the very beginning, CSU called for holding on the very first play. Next play after that,
we're not going to do every play, are we?
I know. No, we're not going to do every play. They end up punting. CU then goes 3 and out. Colorado State gets the ball back on their second drive. Again, tons of penalties still. They finally drive down the field, and then they get to the Colorado 22. Shiloh Sanders pick 6.
Oof. Man, I thought that's when we were going to get the game we thought we were getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Colorado State gets the ball. They have a 3-play touchdown drive. It was the pass to Holker, the tight end, for 30 yards.
Yeah.
Colorado gets the ball back. What happened here? Oh, they scored. Oh, no, it was the fumble. The fumble that happened.
Yep. The scoop and score.
Yeah.
That's when CSU went trick play touchdown, defensive touchdown. Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, oh, shit. It might be one of these days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might be one of these. Might be their day.
Shedeur on the offense responded. He nailed Xavier Weaver for a 24-yard touchdown on a skinny post. Beautiful throw. Colorado State gets the ball back. They cross midfield. They end up punting. CU gets the ball back. We start the second quarter. That first quarter was the longest first quarter I have ever sat through, I think, in my entire life.
And penalties will do that. Subpar officiating will do that.
57 minutes.
Yeah, throw in, television timeouts, which were going to happen anyway, but compounded by the other stuff. It was set. That TCU game was a long game.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yeah, but it didn't. The first quarter didn't feel like this one, but the totality was a long game. First quarter today was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, it really defeats the purpose of a tempo offense with all this stoppage.
Well, and then you got CSU players, faking injuries to slow it down.
CU starts the second quarter off with a punt. CSU goes 3 and out. Colorado gets the ball back. They end up punting that next drive. Colorado State has a long drive. They eventually drive all the way down the field for a 15-yard touchdown pass. Score at that point is 21-14. Colorado gets the ball back, 3 and out. Colorado State gets the ball back. They drive down the field again. I think they end up punting at the very end of the first half, and then Colorado goes up for one more play, and Shedeur gets sacked again.
Yeah, I think that, and forgive me because it is 2:46 a.m., that if I get this out of order, but I will say that as great as Shedeur played, like, consistently from start to finish, when you look at moments when we had to have a stop or a turnover, man, the defense did it, man. Mm-hmm. Because there were times, okay, if they score here, game's over.
Yeah.
Or if they do this, game over. And not only would we stop them or they have to punt or something, we would get a fumble or get an interception. Like, every time that they really could end the game, and really just – because, you're sitting there, whether you're watching or you're playing, and if it's been 10 minutes of game time exhausted for you to score 7, and then now there's only 4 minutes, well, you start telling yourself, well, I ain't got time to get 7 again. But, like, we would stop them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like it kept happening. So on this side of the ball, situationally, the defense was rising to the occasion when we absolutely had to have it. And then on this side of the ball, you had a quarterback who just ain't letting you down at all. Mm-hmm. You never felt like, we're going to lose this game.
I mean, the first half, they were down 21-14 at halftime. Shiloh had the pick 6, of course, so that eliminates a drive already from your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they just couldn't get any momentum offensively. I think they only had 20 plays. They had less than 10 minutes of time of possession. Yeah. They were outgained more than 2-1 in the first half. They just couldn't build any momentum in that first half at all.
No rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get rhythm with penalties, man.
Yep.
It's hard. And, when you look at Shedeur's overall game stats, the stats don't lead you to think it was a sloppy or poor offensive first quarter, you know. But it was one of those things where, like, situationally or execution-wise, it's not like we changed the scheme dramatically. We just started executing the offense. Now, what was not executed, again, as I said in takeaway, was the run game. Like, we would run the ball to run the ball, but we weren't running the ball successfully.
I know. Yeah.
It was kind of like, all right, let's do a run play because we've done 6 pass plays.
Right.
You know, not let's do a run play because the run play is going to work. Let's do a run play because we can't do 7 passes in a row.
Well, then it was the run's not working, so let's throw a screen this time.
We would just do it once and go right back to it. Like that was what was the total run pass? Like it had to be skewed heavily, man.
For the game, Shedeur threw the ball 47 times, 25 rushes. That's all skewed by the end of the game, though.
Yeah.
Because they just cut him loose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was weird, and it's almost like I don't know if this is the right way to use this, but it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because you want to run the ball, but you're not running the ball well.
Yeah.
And you have to.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't convince yourself that running the ball is the right thing to do because you're taking the ball out of his hands and you're getting 1 to 2 yards.
But for me, I mean, let me give you a fist bump because I hear you. But for me, you have got to be able to successfully run the ball to play college football.
Yeah, and it has to start early in the game. Is what
so it's like at some point, as much as what you're saying is spot on, because it's kind of like having a scheme or matchup, which you want to do it, get the ball to Zay, get the ball to Travis. But the truth is you can't do that every play. You got to throw the ball to Dylan. You got to throw the ball to Chick. Like you have to mix up the offense. And it's the same thing with the run game. What stymies us, though, is that the passing is so successful statistically, and then the runs are so anemic statistically, it makes it seem like, oh, why are we even trying to run? Because you have to. Like, you have to be able to run the ball to win college football games, or you're going to have the situations that you have right now.
Yep.
You know, this game is totally not like this, a double overtime game, if we're successfully running the ball. In fact, if we're successfully running the ball, we don't kick a field goal on 4th and 2. We go for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, but it's because we can't run the ball.
They
That we
couldn't
just
execute down there at all.
let's get the points.
Yep. And you see late in the game, again, even when they didn't need to throw the ball, once time wasn't an enemy, it was like we're throwing it on the 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
We're throwing it inside the red zone because you couldn't trust anything else.
Yeah, it just
You start second overtime with a handoff to Dylan, you lose 5.
and you know, you got to go 1-0 each week, and we are 1-0 3 weeks in a row. But as you look that we have 8 remaining games, 9 remaining, whatever the count is, how many of those games can you win with the ratio run to pass that you had tonight? Like, so at some point the run game has got to develop, or you put yourself in those kind of situations.
And it was, to be fair, it was a lot harder without Van out there.
Oh, that was a massive loss today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting a true freshman at center.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to make things tough.
Second half, I felt like CU kind of had to have a drive there to start the second half, and they went 3 and out. It was pretty rough. Colorado State gets the ball back.
And at halftime, you know, Coach Prime's talk was like, we have to score on this opening drive. Mm-hmm. And no, you just kind of felt like, oh, yeah, and we're going to do it, rah, rah, rah. And then you don't, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what happened next?
Then Colorado State gets the ball back. They drive all the way down to the CU 14, and then Shiloh forces the fumble.
And see, that's what I mean about, because I knew that's what happened next. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean about situationally.
Yep.
If Colorado State scores right there,
Yep.
it's 28-14. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, we had to have that happen. And it happened.
Yep.
And so as much as Shedeur is player of the game, as much as like, oh man, he was, you know, near perfect in his execution, those moments where the defense had to do it and did it is like, man, I can't ignore that. Because if they didn't, you know, this is 42-21 final their way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, no, but.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you get it. I get it.
Yeah.
We get it. It didn't happen. We won. But it's like, because hey, man, grab them. You know, don't just grow a pair, hold them and stop them. and we did it each time.
Yep.
Did it each time.
Big plays and big moments. That's been the
Big.
story for the defense this
Yep.
season.
Yeah.
Colorado gets the ball back. They can't really do anything. They end up punting. They get the horse collar tackle on the punt
Yeah.
return. The ball goes all the way down to the Colorado 43. But somehow Colorado State can't convert. That's when the field goal gets blocked by Leonard Payne.
I mean, there we go again.
Yep.
You know, who didn't think they were going to get points on that? Like you had already said, okay, +3 now.
Right.
All right, let's regroup. And then you're like, oh man, I heard 2 thuds.
Yep.
Like that got blocked.
Colorado gets the ball back. That's when Syvion finally starts getting into the game. Michael Harrison as well, I think, at this point. Jace Feely kicks a 39-yard field goal. I can't see. I don't have the score at that point.
I think that was
though.
Mata, no?
No, it says Feely. No good from Feely. So that
Yeah,
was
Feely
was
the
good.
miss, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that got blocked or just never had a chance.
I think he just shanked it.
yeah.
That was weird.
I really think
Yeah,
he
it
just
was
shanked
like
it.
real weird because the way it shot off,
It had no
was like it looked
spin,
like
it
somebody
just like-
touched it,
Yep.
and then you saw the replays. Like, no,
Reading through this now, this third quarter was pretty amazing for Colorado because that next drive, they're driving down. Or I guess they don't get too far, but still, that's when the cam pick happens.
yeah,
And it's
another had to have it moment.
and it's in CSU territory.
Where did he pick that? About their 30, 20 foot
He
somewhere.
picked it off on their 45.
Yeah. I know it was on the side of 50.
Yeah, Colorado gets the ball back. They drive all the way down to the field. I think this is when Mata comes in and kicks like that 20-yard field goal to start the fourth quarter.
Man, do y'all
Yep.
remember? I think it was a super chat question the other day. Somebody talked about
Where's Mata?
Feely and Mata. Where's Mata?
Yeah.
You know, and we told y'all then, there's nothing wrong. It's situational.
Yep.
And you know, Feely's been the guy and been nailing him, and Feely shanks one. It's like, okay, we got a guy that we don't have to worry about if he has the yips right now. Send him in.
And you got to have them, if you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
to just come in, right? You know, you haven't kicked all maybe since TCU. I think you kicked one against TCU.
And he walked out there just so damn nonchalantly, Mata. You know, it's like
Just
so
like, yeah.
unassuming.
Like
It's
Steph Curry warming up.
Yeah, it's like, bam, done. Now what y'all want?
Yep.
Oh, do it again, bam, done. What up?
Shout out Mata, man. What a guy.
Yeah, shout out Mata. We still got to get the Mata all Spanish broadcast.
Why don't we do it now? We've got plenty of time.
Let's call him.
That made the score 21-17. CSU gets the ball. They end up driving all the way down the field. That was when Holker had the run, the catch and run on the, 8 billion crossing patterns that they just took for massive chunks of yardage.
I mean, might as well talk about this now. First of all, that was one of 2 plays where I don't know
Just
how
mesh.
Colorado didn't knock that ball down.
Oh,
You know,
right,
that
yeah.
like Cam has his hand in perfect position and somehow the ball, like
Yep.
it's in a video game, just goes through his hand.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then Breedlove had the same thing happen on the next drive. What was going on with Mesh?
It's the god tier play in football for a reason.
Yeah,
it is so hard to defend.
It's so hard to defend, but
It is, but we made that quarterback look better than he is.
well, and it was just like one thing after another.
Yeah.
In this case, somehow they don't knock the ball down. In another case, you got guys like, you know, diving at ankles and missing them as they're coming by. Like the adjustment was to get the linebackers out a little wider, and then you had linebackers missing tackles, like diving at feet.
Because you
and
still
just-
got to execute.
Yeah.
Like a lot of this stuff ain't scheme and, oh, what the hell is Charles Kelly doing or what the hell is Sean Lewis thinking? Like the guy wasn't where, not only on this side wasn't where he was supposed to be, on this side he was, and he missed the tackle.
Yeah, it's
You know,
it's tough. It was a really great move by Colorado State. Like that's the best thing they did in the game. When you match up against Torrey Horton, you're thinking they're going vertical.
Yep.
And from the first damn snap of the game, they just said, try keeping up with him across the field. And
hey man, we talked about it. Like 14 is special. Like you just can't take anything away from him.
the
you know,
touchdown in overtime.
Yeah, we have talented players on defense, and he was still doing his thing, and you knew he was getting the ball.
Yeah. Fast, strong.
Yeah,
great
you
hands.
knew he was getting the ball, and like, okay, there he goes again. Like, are we gonna put somebody on 14? Like he was in the scouting
I
report.
mean, that's why Travis out of the game was such a hard loss at that point
Yeah.
because now Torrey was just able to run free. Mm-hmm. So the score is 28-17 after CSU scores that touchdown. This is when they just kind of went fuck it mode with Shedeur. And it
No,
literally, the play-by-play,
That
no
should actually
huddle,
be in the playbook.
no
Yeah.
huddle shotgun, no huddle shotgun, no huddle shotgun, no huddle shotgun. And it's Shedeur pass, Shedeur rush, Shedeur pass, Shedeur rush. Drives him down the field, and Mata nails a clutch 41-yard field goal to make it a one-score game, 28-20. That
Man,
was huge.
That was scary. That was a scary moment because it was like you're putting all of your eggs in the Mata basket here. If he misses this, you're in big trouble.
You know, but one thing we got to remember, not the three of us, TV land. Coach Prime knows these guys. Like, he knows Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders has never had another coach except Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. He knows what he's capable of. Alejandro Mata, came from Jackson State here. Coach Prime knows his, like, one miss at Jackson State was a block. Like, it wasn't him. Like, it got, you know. And so there's never any panic or doubt, or because even if you just look at just statistical, this is going to happen because I've seen it happen. And then if you go with the I believe stuff, well, I also believe it's going to happen. So there was never on the sideline this like sense of nerves or like, oh man, what if this is the one where Mata finally misses? You know,
Yeah.
It's like, man, he does it. And one thing that's what Coach Prime is big on, like, I'm not putting you in game situations that I don't see you successfully do in practice. Of
course.
And he successfully does them in practice.
Super clutch.
Scores 28-20. Colorado State gets the ball back. They
my bad.
drive
You're good.
down. They cross midfield barely. They end up going. It's 4th and 2, and they have that outrageous punt that just kind of ducked through the air.
Let's go through the real mistake here, though.
What's up?
What is Jay Norvell doing not going for that?
He wasn't trying to win. He was trying not to lose.
He was afraid in this game to make the decision that would have him answering questions about it in the press conference.
He was literally trying not to lose.
Because that one is if I trust my guys, I'm going to win the game. I mean, Colorado has 2 timeouts left. It would have been 2 minutes with 2 timeouts. You pretty much could have taken it down to about 20 seconds if you convert that. It's 2 yards, Jay.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about, well, thank God he didn't, but I'm not talking about Shedeur Sanders 2 years ago, 1 year ago now. I'm talking about today's game. The best indicator of future performance is past performance. And there was nothing in the past performance of CU today that would lead you to believe I have to punt this.
I'm just putting myself, of course. I'm putting myself
you have to believe, like, you know, if I don't get this, we've been stopping him for 3 quarters.
Yeah. Imagine, let's go, you know, it is Sunday. So let's talk about the Broncos. If it was 4th and 2, and the Broncos had a chance to win the game, and they decided to punt the ball to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. And then, of course, he did exactly what Shedeur did. It took him 90 seconds down the field. I would be losing my absolute mind. You had a chance to win the game, and you quite literally punted on it.
Because he didn't want to be the reason they lost.
And then he should have gone for it in overtime.
And then Shedeur just absolutely takes over. Starts to drive from the Colorado 2-yard line, drive it all the way down the field. Completes it, finds Jimmy Horn wide open, and shout out to Jimmy for getting in the end zone on that play because he could have easily just stepped out of bounds.
And that's what I was talking about earlier when I said we got to remember the guys that are catching these balls and doing things. You know, the extra effort that Dylan Edwards made, you know, late in the game, the extra efforts that Zay Weaver made after he gets the ball. The big one that Jimmy Horn, you know, did. Of course, taking nothing away from Shedeur. That's our guy. He got them where they were in space and could make the move. But those guys still had to do it.
Yep.
You know, it's not like they caught the ball and just laid down.
Yep.
You know, they went another 5, 10, 15 yards with it, you know, which opens up now the playbook and what you can do next. And that's the other thing, you know, we had some goofy reporter, you know, ask Coach Prime a question as if Shedeur had a bad game. And that's why I don't want to overstate this drive that he did in overtime because the stats match the previous stats. Like, you know, he was dropping off stuff 7 out of 9 before that drive.
Yeah.
Dude, at halftime, he only had like 64 yards passing, but he was 16 of 19.
Yeah. And so to suggest that somehow he turned it up in overtime, it's like, no, statistically, he was doing it the whole game. He did it the whole game in Nebraska. He did it the whole game at TCU. The guy has got to be at like 80, 81%, if not higher accuracy.
He's so
Who in
nasty,
the nation? And then the one INT that's on him for the season, which is just one.
Kills me.
It wasn't even interception
It was a
on his
perfect
part.
throw.
Yeah,
What it was is
yeah.
a perfect throw.
Yeah, and it was a damn good effort on defense to come up with it.
Yeah,
Like
and-
the ball just shot up in the air, you know?
Exactly. It's one of those things like I can't blame Jimmy too much. He's just in an awkward position, kind of hits the ground and it bounces out. But it was like a beautiful layered throw right into the exactly where he was
Beautiful
trying to put it.
throw and beautiful defensive effort to track the ball and come up with it. But if you thinking like, oh man, let me look at the tail of the tape. Oh, Shedeur threw an interception. He really didn't throw an interception.
Yep.
Shedeur.
I was really hoping he would get to the 20 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
I was hoping 21.
Well, of course. But remember you told us that in the first week of camp he had 20 touchdowns,
Yeah.
0 interceptions.
Yes.
And we posted it.
Oh, my
And a
God,
bunch of people
yes.
were
Everybody
like,
got, y'all track interceptions in practice? Y'all don't?
we track everything.
Yeah, like-
but I wanted to be able to like go back to
Oh, my
the. We're still gonna be able to do it when it's
I'm still, I hate to rewind, but I'm still blown away that people were saying that. Like, oh, y'all track interceptions and touchdowns in practice? Like,
Well, and they were like, "How bad is the Colorado defense?" It's
like,
Right.
aren't you supposed to do that? Like, don't you track yardage and catches and plays and success and who's making field goals at practice? Like, what are y'all?
Yep.
Your school doesn't do that?
Anyways, what's he up to? 10
What?
touchdowns to interceptions.
He had 6 coming into this game.
10
He
to
had
1.
4 tonight. He is passing on the season at a 79%.
I knew he's right at
completion
80, man.
79%.
That
Come
is
on.
outrageous.
And for someone to ask a question specifically to this game as if what happened in overtime was an anomaly. He had done it in the 4 quarters before the overtime. He had done it in 4 quarters in week 2. What are we waiting on? I'm talking to Colorado fans when I say this. What are we waiting on to start believing in this guy?
Everyone believes.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Maybe non-Colorado fans.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming people who come to press conferences like support the school. Maybe that's my era. But like, you're asking
wasn't
questions.
there. I don't
You're
know what he's
asking
talking about.
questions as if you have. It's not like, hey, let me throw coach a softball.
Yeah.
Let me just throw this food for thought out so he can knock it out the park. No, it's really like, I mean, but is he really that good? Like, what games are y'all watching?
Colorado State got the ball back with 36 seconds left in the game. They end up punting.
Nothing.
Somehow CU gets the ball back with 7 seconds, and Dylan's just running around like a little jitterbug. And I was like, imagine if he just breaks this.
There was a second there, by the way. Should have
Yes.
gotten one more play. The refs were
Yeah.
just like,
Oh, for sure.
No.
100%.
And
they're trying to get out of there.
and
didn't they?
not only was there one more second, let me get on these refs. Let me throw my log on there. It was not only one more second, truly one more second. Feely has made it from where the ball was.
Oh, my God.
Feely has made that kick in practice from where the ball was. And we were robbed of the opportunity when there
Feely
was
from
clear.
65
Matter of fact, man,
for the win.
there was probably 2 seconds left. But I'm gonna give you like the human eyeball, like to hit the clicker. There was definitely 1 second left in the game.
But that's something that can be reviewed. Why wasn't it?
Why wasn't a lot of stuff?
Man, they
today?
reviewed other stuff and still like it's ruling on the field stands. Like, how did you look at that in the stands?
They're just like meeting on the field for literally like a minute trying to figure out a call. We're just sitting in the press box, no idea what's going on. You guys are all sitting there probably the same
Yeah,
thing.
I tell you, next week, man, I'm like going to get real close to the huddle, ref huddle on my microphone because I really think they're talking about pizza or something.
Well, and then, not to get too into the weeds here, but did the overtime rules change? I thought we
What
flipped
the hell
sides.
happened there?
I thought we flipped sides, and
And I
it
thought
changes
CSU
order.
got the ball. Yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
What's going on here?
I have no. Do you know?
I'm watching it like I'm watching it and just doubting myself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting there
everyone-
going like,
everyone in
okay,
my
well,
section
maybe I
was
didn't
doing the
know
same
what I
thing.
thought I knew. Because clearly these 8 guys out here who got headsets, they know the rules better than I do. That's my assumption.
And then I don't know if Coach Prime spoke on this in the post game, but they went. Did they win the toss and choose offense?
Yes.
Okay, so they won the toss. They chose offense.
Yes.
and then CSU chooses they want to be
They wanted to go away from the
student
student
section.
Yeah.
It's supposed to change after
I
first
know.
overtime, and they should have had to go into the student section. Whatever.
Yeah.
that was a dub.
They messed it up. Anyways, first overtime, they get the ball. Shedeur finds Michael Harrison from 3 yards out. Makes the score
Mikey.
35-28. CSU responds with the pass to Torrey Horton from 8 yards out, 35-35.
What a throw! What a catch!
Oh
Yeah.
man, when they made plays, I'm new to the little brother thing. I'm not new to in-state rivals, but I'm new to the in-state rival here. So I'm gonna like let them know. No, that was a play. Like that was y'all had to have it and y'all did it.
Quarterback's got a little something too. For
Yo,
being a young guy.
I mean, I'm not trying to praise this team, but for his second career start, Braden Fowler, Nicolosi, holy
But that's
cow,
my thing, man. It's like, all right, I think the three of us agree, and let me know if the chat is agree. We made some mistakes that allowed him to be successful. What we didn't factor in is that success would boost his confidence. Like you saw throughout the game, he wasn't doubting himself.
No, he was
second, third, fourth quarter.
slinging that thing.
But it was because of the opportunities we missed in the first quarter that, man, this dude is believing in himself.
yeah.
Like this guy, what'd you say, Shedeur is 79%?
Yeah.
On the season, yeah.
This guy came in 50%.
Yep. He went 34-47. That's 72%.
Sheesh.
Yep.
Do you hear me? He went from 50 to 72. That's flunking a class to passing it in a game.
Colorado State gets the ball back. They, again, multiple penalties on their last drive of overtime, and then the game ends with the Trevor Woods pick in the end zone on 4th and 23.
You skipped a Buffs touchdown drive.
Oh, did I? My bad. So go back to start a second overtime. Somehow CU starts with the ball.
Goes backwards 5 yards.
Yeah, they get penalized for holding, and it doesn't matter. Shedeur, 18 yards out, hits Michael Harrison, and then
What a play call.
Oh, great design.
Got the jet motion going against it.
Yeah.
He rolls out one way. You've got Michael Harrison on the wheel, like almost like I would maybe call it like a skinny wheel.
Yeah, it was, they did some kind of clear out with Harrison behind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just.
But the thing is, guys, and I may be mixing this up. Maybe it was Nebraska, but I think it was earlier in this game that play just wasn't executed.
Yeah.
And then in your eyeball, your fan, you go like, man, what the hell are they calling? Like we're calling incredible plays. Shout out to Sean Lewis. But if a guy runs the wrong route and Shedeur does this, thinking he's going to be there and has to eat it and get sacked, you think you're seeing something differently. But it's not that he held the ball long. It's like the route wasn't there because the guy went the wrong way.
Yep.
All right, that's the entire game right there. Real quick shout out to
We
our
didn't
friends.
need it to go that long, but it was a fun game to recap.
I tried to go as fast as I could.
Yeah. It was a fun game
I
to
haven't
recap.
messed with you one time tonight,
No,
so I thought that was going to speed
We
it
just
up.
had great conversation. It's
Yeah.
all right. Shout out to Shady Rays. Buy some Shady Rays. Piss off the Ram fan or Jay Norvell fan in your life. And go to the Park Meadows Mall. Shop their entire collection. They've got hundreds of combinations of frames and lenses. Or you can go online to shadyrays.com. Use that promo code DNVR. And you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. And you can try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And then shout out to, not Fubo, we already did them, Breck Brew. We got a tailgate tomorrow again. Somehow,
How'd the tailgate go today?
It was
Oh, it
sick.
was
New
amazing
spot
today.
is fire.
Yeah.
Better than the last spot.
for sure.
Yeah.
You had Saucy Southern out there. We had tons of Breck Brews.
Hot links.
Hot links. Yep.
Saucy's put it down.
Hot links. Talk to me about the hot links.
The
man.
hot links were crazy.
You said you were going to eat a bunch of them.
I did.
All right.
I
you
did.
Good?
I feel great. I wish I had more. I wanted the ribs were amazing, and I went and I asked just about everyone, "How's the food? How's the food? How's the food?" Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Just as
Sauce
advertised.
is Southern, man. Check. You know what? I'm going tomorrow.
Cam's going tomorrow. He told me.
Yeah.
You're on my cord again.
No, I'm sorry. I love being on your cord.
Anyway, shout out to Breck Brew. We got a Broncos tailgate tomorrow. It's going to be a ton of fun. Go check out their beer locator at www.breckbrew.com.
No, we almost made it.
We did.
Like
Find
it's
a brew for you.
3:11. We almost made it.
I think that there's got to be people who are tuning into this show like they just woke up.
Oh,
And they're
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
and they're like, wait, you guys are live right now?
No,
Yeah, we are.
absolutely. There are people who are just waking up or went to take a pee and like, let me check my phone, before I fall back asleep. And wait a minute, like,
They're live?
Did I miss this? No, this is actually live. Yes, these 3 idiots are live at 3:11 in the morning. Almost 24 hours for you.
Yep. All right.
what are we doing next?
Super chats.
Yes, let's do it.
Super chats are
Super
cool.
chats.
All right,
Hey,
we
while
got-
we go there, man, Oregon is next.
Yep.
Let's fucking go.
We're going to Oregon 3-0.
Hey, for all the people out there trying to like dunk on Colorado in a win, please just remember where we came from. This team's win total this season was 3.5.
So look, dude.
They are 3-0. We're gonna celebrate every win.
Absolutely.
And stop
Absolutely.
telling college kids how to have fun, man.
Stop telling adults how to have fun.
Don't tell anyone how to
Hey,
have
stop telling adult coaches how to dress for press conferences.
I have to give it to Bucky. He had the best possible response to this because someone was, shitting on CU for rushing the field, and he said, "A loser can't tell a winner how to win."
Straight up.
No, you really
Mic drop.
can't.
All right.
You really can't. How
you
many
have a
hot
headset,
links did you
Alyssa?
have, though?
Yeah, I've got this mic over here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I unmuted it. Infiltrator NY sent us a super chat. No comment. But,
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Woohoo!
I
think I should just keep doing that.
TB Hardage CU gave his cousin Hardage CSU our plays.
What?
What?
Hardage.
Harge, Isaiah Harge does his
Harge?
I think his cousin
Oh,
plays
because of
for
Ron
CSU.
Harge. Yeah. No, I mean, no.
It's just, they're just joking there.
That, yeah. Put a laugh emoji with that because that can't be serious.
I hope there was one with that.
Yeah, no way that happened.
Next.
JS says, I personally know enough local talent from coaching in the state. Number 11 is a Colorado boy, and they hate that they're overlooked in their own state.
Apparently, he's from Boulder, too.
Oh, good.
11.
Hey, man, play with a chip on your shoulder.
They
Get,
did.
get
Took out
motivated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then Guru Gary, $122.23.
Wow.
RK, thanks for sharing your passion, bringing me along a journey from 2 years of DNVR Broncos podcast to 10 months of near daily shows with Jake and Uncle Neely, all the way to my wife and I's first ever college football game from no team to SCO Buffs.
Let's go.
Let's
man.
go, baby.
That is so awesome.
love
Thank you
links
so
for,
much
Hot links for everybody.
for the incredibly generous super chat and for being with us. I love you guys when I see you in the stadium.
How many hot links can we get for $120?
A lot. Someone just told me that I'm messing up the vibe by not having my shades on.
I thought that earlier, but I didn't want to delay the show.
You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me.
Real quick, I asked Coach Prime after or in his press conference. He said Travis is probably out a few weeks, so that's what we can expect.
Yeah.
Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
we'll get updates on how he's doing.
It just sucks.
Shout out to JB Jeremiah Brown post game in the locker room. Initiated a team prayer for Travis. Initiated doing it and led the prayer. And players are going to go by and see him. They're probably there right now, as a matter of fact. So fans don't jump to conclusions. Don't go out there speculating on Twitter like it's a health thing. You don't know, you're not there. But he is expected, to be back with us ASAP, man. Tough kid. Like I saw him go through. He came to Jackson State with some ankle issues that he inherited in high school, and the surgery that he battled to get back on the field. Like Travis is gonna be fine, man. He's a dog. He's that guy.
Yep.
But just wishing him well, man, and much rest and healing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just such a bummer that
It's a bummer because the shit was intentional.
Well, it was, and now the two most anticipated games of the season are back to back, and it doesn't.
I
seem
will
like
tell
he's
you
gonna be
this,
a part of
man.
those.
You cannot have a testimony without a test. And Travis Hunter will be back in a couple of weeks with a testimony that is going to propel him once again right back in that Heisman conversation.
Love it.
It's hard to stay in the Heisman conversation when you don't play because it's a week-to-week metric. And, you miss a couple games and other guys have great games and now they're in the convo and you're out of it. But there's a whole lot of season left for him to do his thing that we all know he can do. And you're gonna get to the final weeks of the season, and it's gonna be Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter right there neck and neck again in the mentions.
Yep, that 98-yard drive will be front and center on Shedeur's Heisman reel.
Yep.
Are we wrapping here?
I think
we
she
done?
has some more over there.
Two more. ZL Stoney says, missing wide receivers, cornerback Travis Hunter for Oregon and USC is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Next man up.
So, and that leads me into what I wanted to say here as kind of my final point. I think that this team needed this game. It wasn't fun for most of it. It was ugly, but they got a little scare put into them. And I think once in a while, it doesn't hurt to have a little scare put into you to say, okay, I need to tighten up just a little bit more this week, a little more film work, a little more.
Amen.
you know,
Amen. Preach it,
whatever
brother.
it is.
I always give basketball analogies. When you're going into March Madness, there's nothing like a loss in February. to get you ready for the tournament, to
Yes.
get you refocused for when it really, really counts. Where when one loss, it's your season is done. You get those guys who are 21-0. And then go to March Madness and get bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
Like this would, and I know that you're speaking, from a player standpoint, but I believe in what you said so much that I want to include the coaches in that. The coaching staff needed this adversity. Let me tell you something I saw tonight that I hadn't seen here in 2 games. Typically, when we do the halftime interview with Coach Prime, he goes into his little conference room. The other coaches go to the coaches' offices, do their thing, then everybody comes back together. He walked past his turn, and he went to meet with them. I saw him do that once before at Jackson State. We were playing FAMU in a game that shouldn't have been close, and he had a closed-door meeting with the coaches. And so I think this kind of game, like you're talking about, is good for the organization, not just players.
Yep. And you got it in a win. Learn and win. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, you had it. Look, hey, man, it was a bad game, and we won a bad game.
Got the W.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
What are we going to do when we have a good game?
Thanks to time.
Let them know.
You keep trying. I love it, though. Now, hey, man,
It's catching.
I love effort.
I captioned a picture
I
on
don't
the
know
bus
if it's
account
going to
with
catch
that.
it, but yeah.
It's catching, bro. It's catching.
I don't know if it's catching.
It's starting to catch.
Okay, I take that.
Yeah.
It's starting
Starting
to
to
possibly
catch.
catch.
Starting to catch.
I think we have one more over there.
Last
Alyssa?
one, yep. Pizza Girl X says the DNVR pregame show is killing the game.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
Love doing the show with you boys.
Love
You
this
my-
show.
you
Love
my
this
boy, Blue.
program.
You my
love this.
boy.
Love this community. It's 319. We've
Yeah.
got thousands of people.
We
watching.
got to go to 321.
No,
No, we
don't.
got to go to 321, man.
Okay, good, because we got another snap.
There we go.
or
We got to
super
go. We
chat.
can't end the show at 319.
I keep saying Snapchat. I don't know why. Travis says 47-year-old lifelong Buffs fan born in Mile High City, raised in ATL now. The late TJ Cunningham was a family friend. You 3 have been incredible.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Man,
That
there's
didn't do
camera,
much.
man.
That didn't
I keep
do a
pointing at
dent
her
in
like
here,
she's
yeah.
the camera, but this camera's right there.
All right. Press conferences are on the website. There's tweets out at Jake DNVR if you want to go check them out. But yeah, I guess we'll be back Tuesday.
We will.
Is the clock broken?
Like, is it
I
broke?
know it didn't.
Like, it went
What's
there. All
happening?
right. 1 more minute.
One more
Like,
minute.
that was the longest. That was the first quarter of minutes right there. Like, it took from 319, felt like
Okay,
5
I've got
hours.
a question then, real quick then.
Yeah.
Where's CU ranked after this?
Same spot.
Same
Tennessee
spot.
lost?
They did?
Tennessee
So
lost.
that's what I was about to say. I don't know because I didn't been held up all damn 24 hours. I don't know the other scores today.
A lot of teams struggled. FSU struggled. Georgia struggled.
It was one of those days, which
It
was
was
another.
Survival Saturday.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
just another one of
What
those.
did Mississippi State LSU do? LSU
LSU
got it?
beat the hell out of them.
All right, so what happened with, because Ole Miss was right behind us, what happened with them? Did they play?
I don't know about Ole Miss. I'm looking it up right now.
It's probably easier to hold tight with us then. If there was no drastic loss in the 12, 13, 14, 15 range, we probably stay pat.
Yeah, I think it stays, and that's probably the right thing. But it really was a survival Saturday.
Kansas State lost. They were 15.
Okay,
All right, well, that helps us.
might sneak
We
up.
might
the-
go up 1.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
She literally cut the light off.
Allie is ready to
Oh,
go.
she is ready.
We're going
They're
to bed.
turning the